Welcome to The Explainer. I am so pumped you're tuning in today because we are unpacking a story that is literally epic in scope. We're going to trace humanity's technological evolution, connecting the hidden mysteries of ancient civilizations all the way to the modern supercomputers and rockets shaping our future right now. It's a massive, mind-bending narrative, so let's just jump right in.
Okay, let's dive into this. What if the key to our interstellar future was actually hidden in the ancient past? I know, it sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie, but historical texts show a deep, obsessive quest for limitless energy that stretches back thousands of years. From the historical studies of the Knights Templar to our modern drive for space exploration and artificial intelligence, there's this singular, fascinating thread connecting our ancient past to our destiny in the stars.
To really wrap our heads around the scale of what we're trying to achieve today, just consider this number, 10 septillion years. If you took the absolute fastest classical supercomputer on Earth right now and asked it to solve the universe's most complex mathematical equations, the kind of math we absolutely need for interstellar travel or advanced molecular simulation, it would take 10 septillion years to finish. That is a hard mathematical limit. So to get to the stars, we needed a massive fundamental technological leap.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with 1, the ancient quest for power. Move on to 2, the billionaire space race. Explore 3, the new AI frontier. Look at 4, breaking the quantum barrier. And then bring it all together in 5, humanity's interstellar destiny. Section 1, the ancient quest for power. From pyramids to Tesla. Way back in antiquity, texts that were later studied by the Knights Templar actually suggested that monuments like the Great Pyramid of Giza weren't just tombs, but massive energy capacitors. Fast forward to the early 20th century, and the brilliant inventor Nikola Tesla was actually poring over those exact same ancient Templar discoveries. He believed these monuments were built on electromagnetic ley lines. Inspired by this, in 1901, Tesla began building the Wardenclyffe Tower, hoping to replicate that ancient tech. But then, as we hit 1945, we see this ancient study turn highly destructive with the dawn of the atomic era. Which brings us to this famously chilling quote from Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. What's absolutely wild here is that Oppenheimer was a dedicated scholar of ancient Sanskrit. He studied ancient Vedic texts, like the Mahabharata, which described devastating ancient weapons, iron thunderbolts, that reduced entire races to ashes and caused hair and nails to fall out. I mean, that perfectly mirrors radiation poisoning. He realized we weren't just inventing a new weapon, we were unlocking an ancient, terrifying power that had perhaps been used in a forgotten past. But Tesla's vision? Entirely different vibe. His forbidden dream was a worldwide wireless energy grid. He wanted to broadcast power directly through the earth and the air, basically creating free, limitless energy for everyone, much like he believed the ancients did. But, as you might guess, that dream was crushed by corporate interests, specifically JP Morgan, who couldn't figure out how to put a meter on wireless free electricity. And so that incredible dream of a unified power grid went completely dormant. Until now. Section 2, the billionaire space race, picking up the mantle. Let's move to the modern era and see how this builds. Looking at the evolution of space travel, we obviously had the monumental, publicly funded Apollo 11 moon landing in '69. But then, things kind of stalled out. Fast forward to the early 2000s, though, and we see the explosive birth of the private space sector, with SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic. This really culminated in an incredibly historic month back in July 2021, when both Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos successfully rode rockets, funded entirely by their own wealth, to the very edge of space. But it's super important to note that these billionaires are pursuing very different paths. Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin are primarily focused right now on suborbital tourism, right? Taking passengers up for a few magical minutes of weightlessness and a killer view of the Earth's curvature. SpaceX, on the other hand, under Elon Musk, has a completely different business model. They're executing complex, multi-day orbital flights and are laser-focused on the incredibly difficult goal of multiplanetary colonization, specifically targeting Mars. And then, of course, there's the price tag, $250,000. That was the initial price for a ticket on Virgin Galactic. Now, while that's strictly for the ultra-wealthy right now, the overarching goal of all these companies is to develop reusable rocket technology. By landing and reusing rockets, they aim to drive the cost of spaceflight down so dramatically that eventually, space becomes accessible to everyone, not just the elite. It's a real game changer. Section 3, the new AI frontier, the intelligence engine. Now, what's really interesting here is the massive disruption happening in the AI market right now. Just look at the cost per million output tokens. Grok 4.5, recently released by SpaceX AI, sits at just $6. It is radically undercutting major rivals like Opus and GPT, which are charging 4 to 5 times as much. Make no mistake, Elon Musk just started an incredibly aggressive AI price war.
So why does this matter for our overarching story? Well, because the AI race, it's no longer just about who has the absolute smartest model. It's about extreme efficiency. SpaceX AI owns the flagship model, Grok 4.5. They own the raw compute power with the massive Memphis Colossus supercomputer. They integrate directly with the Cursor AI coding editor, and they offer a massive 500,000 token context window. They own the entire compute stack. This kind of vertical integration is exactly the highly efficient, hyper-scalable intelligence engine required to actually solve the insanely complex engineering math of space travel.
Section 4, Breaking the Quantum Barrier, Solving the Impossible.
To really grasp this next breakthrough, we have to talk hardware for a second. Standard digital infrastructure uses classical bits. Think of them as tiny switches locked strictly as either a 0 or a 1. But quantum computers? They use qubits. Through the mind-bending physics of superposition, a qubit can exist as multiple possibilities simultaneously. By linking them up through quantum entanglement, you build a machine that explores an almost incomprehensible number of solutions at the exact same time. It's like a giant puzzle solving itself all at once. Which brings us to the magic number, 105. That is the exact number of highly advanced superconducting transmon qubits packed inside Google's new Willow processor. Remember that 10 septillion year calculation we talked about at the very beginning of the explainer? Well, the Willow processor just absolutely shattered that barrier. It completed the exact same globally verifiable calculation in under 300 seconds. No way, right? But it's true. So, the crucial point here is how they did it. For decades, quantum computing was trapped by an error paradox. Basically, the absolute slightest physical noise ruins the calculation. But Google proved the error paradox inversion. By encoding multiple physical qubits into one stable logical qubit, they proved that scaling up actually makes the hardware more accurate, not less. They completely broke the barrier, and now they're pushing this unimaginable processing power directly to researchers worldwide via the cloud. Section 5, Humanity's Interstellar Destiny, the Convergence. Consider this quote from Elon Musk. The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species. For the visionaries pushing these technologies today, staying permanently stuck on Earth is a huge risk to human survival, whether from running out of resources or some global cataclysm, honestly, much like the ones described in those ancient Templar texts we mentioned. Expanding into the cosmos is viewed as the ultimate insurance policy for humanity. When you pull back, you can clearly see the architecture of our evolution unfolding. Step 1. We tap into fundamental quantum physics to solve literally impossible math. Step 2. We deploy hyper-efficient AI to manage the incredible engineering complexities. Step 3. We build reusable, cost-effective commercial spacecraft. And finally, Step 4. We use all of that to establish off-world colonies. We are actively building the infrastructure right now to achieve the limitless potential that ancient civilizations and visionaries like Nikola Tesla could only dream of. Which leaves us with this final, truly wild thought. Look at what we are achieving today with our supercomputers, our hyper-efficient AI, and our private rockets. Are these simply the modern realization of humanity's most ancient, forbidden dreams? Have we actually finally unlocked the keys that the ancients left behind? It's a fascinating perspective to take as we watch this brand new era unfold. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep looking at the data, keep asking these big questions, and I'll catch you next time.